Hey everybody, it's Cheap Comic Collector, and this is episode 133. And we'll be spinning that giveaway wheel again today. At this point, we're just kind of spinning to see who gets first crack at what they want. And looking through the lists, I don't think there's a whole lot of overlap for the three contenders. So you probably, except for the stuff that's already been taken, you're probably going to get what's left on your list. So anyway, we will get on with the What Am I Reading? And I read the Alter Ego miniseries by Roy Thomas and Ron Harris that came out from First Comics in 1986. And as you would expect from Roy Thomas, this is pretty much a kind of a love letter to the Golden Age comics. He was good at those, and but it was an interesting read. It starts out with kids. These kids here, they discover a comic shop that has popped up overnight, so it's kind of mysterious, and they're in there looking at the comic books, and the owner lets the one kid take home a box of Golden Age comics, including an issue of Alter Ego, which isn't in Overstreet and nobody's ever heard of before. And so he's reading the comics and trying to skip minor plot points here. He dreams about this character whose name escapes me at the moment. The captain, somebody or another. Anyway, this guy's basically the guy that owned the comic shop, and he tells the kid to wear the mask, and so the kid goes back and later is looking at his comic book is glowing now, and it's got a blank pages, and a mask falls out of it. So he sees in a mirror, he sees Alter Ego, and he's gesturing for him to put the mask on, so he does. And he's transported to another dimension where they're still fighting World War II. And you got Hitler and Mussolini and what's his name? Tojo. There, basically as caricatures of themselves. And at first I was like, okay, this is weird. Why are they drawn like this? I knew they were drawn like this during the actual Golden Age, but this is 1986, right? So later that kind of gets explained. But anyway, a lot of other characters there. They're not named after they don't have the same names as the characters they represent from the Golden Age. So like this guy here is obviously supposed to be the spirit of 76, right? But he's not actually named that. And I'm not sure if they actually name all of them. Anyway, they have names similar, but not the same as the characters that they're supposed to be representing. Because obviously, they didn't have the rights to use those characters probably. And so the kid becomes Alter Ego, and this green lady, she's one of the bad guys. She tricks him into taking the mask off, so he becomes a kid again. And anyway, this is basically what's going on. They fight the bad guys and chase them off, and then they find out that the Hitler and Mussolini and Tojo are all actual robots. They're not real, and they're all being controlled by the Claw here, this guy up here, and the Crimson Claw is what they called him. Of course, in the old comics, it was the Yellow Claw. So anyway, then the kid takes his mask off and he wakes back up. He's in his bed and can't figure out if it was real or a dream or whatever. And that was the first issue. It's very good. There is one bad logic thing that doesn't make sense when he has the mask on or off throughout the series. Sometimes when he takes the mask off, he gets transported back home, and sometimes when he doesn't have the mask, he's still in the other dimension. So that doesn't quite make sense. It's not consistent throughout the series. So other than that, it was very well written, very well done. I'm not familiar with most of these older characters. I know who they are, but I haven't actually read any of them really. So the first few pages in the second issue is just kind of a recap of what's going on. And the mask shows up at school in his locker, obviously wanting him to wear it. And eventually he does. He gets transported back. Now he's with the basically an aviation unit, the Skyfighters. I think in I just was looking at some of those today too. Airboy, Airboy and the Airfighters. So this is Skyboy and the Skyfighters, right? So so they're attacking the Crimson Claw's fortress. They find their one guy dead, and this is one of the bad guys here. And they fight, and the green chick, she kind of goes back and forth between a good guy and being a good guy and a bad guy. In the end, she tries to help, and so once again he fights. He's not very unsure of himself because he's basically just a boy in a grown man's body, and the Claw character knows that. And so the Claw character has stolen missiles from his world and used one of them to destroy Los Angeles in the other world. And he's going to fire the other two at his Los Angeles and his Moscow to start a world war. And so he's trying to figure out what's going on. He knows like a couple of the people that are in the news about these missiles. He recognizes them and knows that they're actually agents of the Claw character. And so he tries to contact the FBI and tell them what's going on, and so on and so forth. And the Claw basically keeps capturing him. And then so at the end, everybody's looking for the kid, including the FBI. And he's gone. He's been taken to the other world by the Claw. But his mask is still at his house, and his grandpa finds it and is looking in the comics. Meanwhile, the kid's trapped in the other world with this time he's in a jungle with the jungle characters. And so Grandpa sees all this happening in the comic book. So it kind of pays tribute to the old DC thing where the Earth 2 characters were the comic book characters of Earth 1. Because what's going on in the other world is seen in the comic books on his world. So and then this cover, the Your Next thing, doesn't really make sense. It doesn't have any meaning at all, as far as I can tell from the story. So nice Infinity cover though. So yeah, Grandpa's reading the last issue of the comic book. Doesn't know what to do. Thinks he's going senile. Meanwhile, the jungle characters are getting killed by the Nazis. And the kid grabs a machine gun and is fighting Nazis. And then the green chick shows up and saves him, and then the alter ego shows up, and which confuses the heck out of him because he's alter ego, right? So, and he brought all these other characters with him, which, Daredevil, Catman, Black Terror, Spirit of 76. Not entirely sure who those are, but yeah, they're not called that. They're called something else. And then it was a fun read. It was fun to read through this, and it does take quite a bit of reading. There's a lot of pages in each issue. There isn't any advertisements, hardly at all. There's a couple editorial pages and a couple house ads like that, one for Grimjack, but very little. No actual advertising. So there's a lot of story here. And of course, that alter ego turns out to be his grandpa. So he takes the mask, which sends Grandpa back to their dimension. It's getting confusing. And then he puts it on, so he becomes alter ego again and whoops the bad guys. And then he goes back home and promises to explain everything to everybody, and that's pretty much the end of the issue. Grandpa's going to be okay, and then they had hoped to do more, after this miniseries, according to the letters pages, but never happened. Didn't sell well enough for them to continue with it. But I did see, because I looked to see if there was a later series that they ever did or not, and the only thing I saw was that for the 25th anniversary, Heroic Comics reissued the 4 issues, but there's also a 5th issue. So they may have made a 5th issue. I don't know. It was still the same creative team, Roy Thomas and Ron Harris. It didn't give any details in the description on GDC, so I don't know. I don't know what's in it. I don't know if it was a new story or if it was a story they wrote back then that just never got made. Could be either of those. So apparently there is actually a 5th story out there. And that's pretty much it. No point in picking a favorite because it's all the same story. But I enjoyed it. It was good. And it was fun. And we're going to spin the wheel. Da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, we got 3 people. 3 people left. And like I said, right now we're basically spinning for whoever gets first choice here. So we got James. James 1. James. There he is. And let me see what he had on his list. A lot of his were gone also. Oh, he actually wanted Alter Ego number 1. I think they're both gone. Let me see. Oh, no, I still have the one still. So that's kind of cool. You're going to get the one we were just talking about. So that's neat. And let's see, what else has he got? I almost read the wrong list. I got somebody else on the back. Justice Society of America, number 2, I think I still have. Yep. That nice black canary cover with Solomon Grundy about to grab her. And let's see, Mighty Crusaders, 1 and 4. Not sure if they're still here. Yeah, they are. I know they were on somebody else's list too, so I guess they missed out. But so there's 1 and 4 of the Mighty Crusaders. Gonna get those. Let's see, grabbed Elder Ego Alpha Flight number 2. I think that got grabbed yesterday. Nope, there it is. Still got it. Alpha Flight number 2. Cool. And that was all on his main list. He gave me 1 alternate of a Little Lotta. I'm sure that's still here. Yep. He definitely likes older books, just like me. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I owe him 6 more. And he likes older stuff. Let's see what we can find here. Boom, 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 boom. See if there's any Justice Society in here. Justice League, Justice League, Justice League. Nope. Morpho. Night Force, Omega Man. All right, nothing really jumping out at me, suggesting itself. I do have all these books down here to go through yet that are doubles, so I will find 6 more for you, James. It'll just be a surprise. And thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And we'll see you tomorrow. Let's see, tomorrow we'll be doing another part of a short box, and then our next giveaway will actually, I think it's just going to automatically go to the two winners, because I don't think their lists overlapped at all. Adventurous Joe wanted mostly Action Comics, and then yeah, Brian McPhee didn't have any action on his list, so we're probably just going to go ahead and see what we got left to give those 2 guys next time. And once there's only 2 people left on the wheel, there's no point in you know, once there's only 1 person on there, there's not really any point in spinning it. So I wish there was a way to mix that up better. I don't think there is. I guess I could list the same names over again to make it more entertaining. But anyway, we'll figure it out. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.